Hi, this is Pamela Reed, and I am here today to present to you the COVID-19 government policy that is in place here in Wichita. This is for class ECN 225. It's week 3 assignment, government regulation, and today's date is November the 25th of 2020. Okay, so we shall proceed. Okay. The policy is an effort to slow the spreading of the COVID-19 virus. The policy is in place to primarily protect the citizens and the people. Although we all have our own opinion, I don't feel like it does its job. But all the people that want to go into businesses or any kind of establishment has to wear gloves or has to wear a mask. They have to be tested or screened at the door, for temperature. Any temperatures over 99.9, that's a COVID symptom. They have to fill out like a little questionnaire thing, answer questions about have you been out of the country or out of the state, or have you been in the airports and different places like that. Have to answer. It's like some of them are 8 questions, some of them are 4 questions, and you have to. The policy also informs everybody that. They have to practice social distancing. They have to wear face masks. They have to stay 6 feet apart from each other. There's no contact or hugging and kissing and that kind of thing. They have to. The residents can't. Okay, the place that I'm referring to as far as this policy goes is my place of employment. It's Reflection Ridge Luxury Retirement Resort. This is an independent living facility for elderly people that for whatever reason don't want to live with their families. It's a 3-floor condominium complex, I guess you call it, 3 floors, and the elderly people, they live like a little apartment community. So this policy in this location also says that they can't visit each other. They can't, stop in the hallway and chat, and they can't sit with each other at mealtime and different things like that. Because the elderly is one of the most vulnerable when it comes to viruses and things like this. The elderly and the really extremely young. So we're doing everything that we can to protect the elderly from this virus. Okay. As well as all the things I've already listed. All touchable surfaces will be sanitized every 3 hours on the 3rd hour, the strike of the hour, around the clock until this COVID thing subsides. All the staff will be required to not only wear face masks while in the building, but they will also be subjected to the same corona screening that everybody else gets. And if they have symptoms, they will be sent home. They also have to wear latex gloves and sanitize their work area every 3 hours also. So just rest assured that we are doing everything that we can to prevent this virus from spreading any further than it already has. Okay. Then the screener's job is which was me. I was the one that was posted at the door. It was my little desk and stuff, and my clipboard and my digital no-touch thermometer, and I would keep a temperature logbook with everybody's name and what their temperature read when they came and what it read when they left. I would take an in and out temperature. I was the first point of contact. I was stationed at the door, like I said. My typical shift consisted of conducting the thorough screening of everybody that came, whether it be visitors, employees, vendors, guests, guest speakers, anybody that came through them doors. I stopped them, and they didn't get past me until they passed my test. They had an 8-question questionnaire to answer. If anybody answered yes to any one of the 8 questions, I had to stop them. I couldn't let them pass me. So, but of course, I didn't tell them that before they filled out the paperwork. But I also had people sign the book as an entry, and an exit, and on the line that they signed their name on, it would say, it would ask who they were there to see, either put a room number or a last name, and what your relation is to them, because we was only allowed immediate family, and no children were allowed at all, period. If the resident that lived in our facility wanted to visit the child, a young child, then they would have to exit the building and go somewhere else with their with their loved ones to visit. But they would be required to wear a mask and stuff, also just like everybody else. So the sanitization of the facility was also my responsibility. All 3 floors, all touchable surfaces. It was up to me to keep that virus at bay. So I did everything I could, and I still am, to protect the citizens of Reflection Ridge Luxury Retirement Resort. Okay. The government's involvement. Okay, now this is where it gets a little spicy when it comes to my opinion. This is only my opinion now, mind you. The government's involvement. Okay, how would it change if the government were more involved or less involved? Okay, so in my opinion, I believe that the government is way more than just involved. I believe that they are responsible for this entire pandemic and all of the chaos and all of the consequences of the same. And let me explain. I feel like our economy was thriving. We were, as a community, a whole, or a nation really, we were spending money, we were making more. We were spending more, we were making more. We was doing good. We was patronizing our local businesses. We was helping these small businesses grow. Excuse me. We was helping them get more revenue in and expand their businesses. And what was small businesses was now becoming larger businesses. And everything was thriving and going good. And the government thought that we were having just too much fun with that, so they pulled what I feel, just my opinion again, what I feel is the largest epic-sized government hoax in history. I feel like that the coronavirus is real. I'm not saying it's not real. It is a real thing, but it's the government fraud that brought the world to a standstill overnight. I mean, I've done so much research on this, and I've read up on it, and it's the more I read, the more angry I get, because people are going with this, and it's a bunch of BS. But anyway, that's just my opinion. So the restrictions that were laid on society or by our governments, our individual governments, was not questioned. It was not demanded to show proof of anything, or any of these methods that they're making us do actually prevents anything, is helping in any kind of way. Nobody demanded it because the government said so. Everybody went with it. Everybody just, okay, well, the government said so, it must be true. Have you met our government? It's not always true. Okay, so, but anyway, the people that abided by the strong recommendations of the government to shut down, these were luxury places. There were no essential places shut down. If you think about that, there was no gas stations were shut down. There was no airports shut down. There was no car dealerships shut down. There was no there was all luxury places and social gathering places. That's the only places that was shut down. Okay. Bars, restaurants, dance recitals, basketball games, whatever, that kind of thing. How do I put this? I think that the government might want to have a communism society or a communism economy, because they want to dictate to us what to spend, how to spend it, how much to make, where to go, who to hang with, and I mean, they want to dictate our lives to us, and it's not right. We don't live in Russia. We don't live in Hitler's community. I mean, this is America, home of the free. So I believe that we are free to do what we want, and if we want to go out there and risk ourselves and catch the coronavirus and keel over dead, then that's our business. It's our choice. It's our prerogative. That's the way I feel about it. It's just now at this point, the government gets to dictate to us because A, people are out of work and they can't afford to do anything but apply for assistance. B, we have to jump through the hoops that the government says we have to jump through to get this assistance, which I still can't even get food stamps, but by the way, for the record, I don't get no assistance, but that's just my luck. But the government is still barring us from having family funerals, from having weddings. My daughter was cheated out of her wedding. My daughter is 25 years old, and she got married in April, and right about the time everything was paid for and non-refundable, like 2 weeks before her wedding, the coronavirus swooped in and took it from her, just stole her wedding straight from her. She had 258 people invited that I helped pay for, and we couldn't even have this celebration because of the stupid coronavirus. Now, my daughter, my only daughter, I have 5 children, all them boys except one. My only daughter has been practicing for that wedding day since she was 6 years old, going down my hallway with the tablecloth on her head and the weeds out of the front yard, and practicing and practicing and practicing, with the little boy next door. I mean, come on. How are you going to steal that dream from a woman that has waited her whole life, saved herself for her husband, did it the right way? She made him court her for a year. She didn't live with him, didn't spend the night with him, nothing. And, she lost her virginity on her wedding night. I mean, how much more perfect do you have to be? If anybody in the world deserved that, it was her. It was my daughter, Lacey. But I think I was more messed up about it than she was, really, because she said, "Mom, it's fine. We'll just elope in the waterfalls of Hot Springs, Arkansas." So that's what I did, and it was beautiful. The pictures. There was only 4 people present: the photographer, the preacher, and the groom and bride. That's it. But it was still beautiful. But I'm just saying, how does somebody like her have to suffer with that? Have to deal with that because of a coronavirus? It's unfair. It really is. Okay, so enough about that. Let's talk about corona-related deaths, the death toll. I don't even know what it's at right now. I don't even really care, because when I was doing my research on this coronavirus, I ran across a couple of articles that was written by pretty reliable sources, and I will. You'll see the references, the in-text citations, and the references at the end of this presentation. But I ran across a couple of articles that said that the lead hospitals in each state has a lead hospital, and the lead hospital in all, excuse me, all the states in the United States was contacted by the White House and was instructed to label any deaths as corona-related if they died between May of 2020 and November 2020. And as an incentive to get the hospital authorities to go with this flow and fraud, the hospitals were promised a monetary incentive for each corona-related death that they reported. Now, they wasn't saying to say it was just a corona death. They were saying car accident, cause of death, car accident / corona-related. Cause of death, heart attack / corona-related. Cause of death, plummeted from the roof of the Empire State Building / corona-related. I mean, really. And they got $10,000. The hospitals got $10,000 per corona-related death. And how did you think that the numbers would go from, I don't know, 1,100 to 512,000 overnight, or in 2 days? Really, I mean, that's how. But anyway, the more I read up on this coronavirus, the more disgusted I am, and the more that I think our government thinks that we are ignorant and don't know any better and can't research things. But that's just my opinion again. Okay, moving right along. The COVID-19, is this a new thing, or